Two former teammates and the complainant EM all testified today in court as witness. There's a ton of information to go over, so I'm going to have to split this up into 3 parts. 1 and 2 will be up tonight, and then part 3 will be out tomorrow morning. If you're new here, I'm covering this story very closely, so if you want to be up to date with everything, make sure you drop a follow, and every event that I'm going to discuss in this video is still all alleged currently. The first witness was Taylor Radish continuing his testimony from the other day, and because it's been such a long time since this whole incident allegedly happened, he was allowed to read the transcripts of what he told investigators originally back in 2018. I'm going to read this all directly because there's a lot of stuff to go over. He told the investigator back then that he was only in McLeod's room for a very short amount of time. He saw a woman on the bed but wasn't sure she was clothed or not. She had covers up to about her neck, but he could see her trap, which was her upper back and neck muscles. But she could have been wearing a top that didn't have shoulders on it. Her head was propped up on the pillow, which was against the headboard. He said he politely avoided looking at her and that his room was next door to McLeod's. He says he remembers hooting and hollering coming from the next door in the early hours of June 19th, 2018. Once he was done with his initial testimony, each of the defense's lawyers got a chance to cross-examine him. McLeod's lawyer asked him about texts that he had with McLeod, about feeling terrible the morning of June 18th, which was before the gala, and the two of them going to a hot tub, and then Carter Hart's attorney then asked if he remembers putting a sheet down on the floor of McLeod's room for EM, and Radish responded no. Formenton's lawyer then asked about his recollection and how the player is relying on the 2018 transcripts. She also pointed out that no one asked him about what he recalls before he testified. Dubé's lawyer then made the point that when they got to London in June 2018, they were no longer technically a team because the tournament was over. They turned pro and Dubé was no longer the team captain because, quote, the team didn't exist at that point, which Radish responds, I guess you could say that. Radish then recalled when the World Junior team started getting calls from Hockey Canada telling him an investigation was being launched. He described that he was being nervous and fearful even though he didn't see the woman naked or participate in anything that happened that night. But he says that when he was interviewed in 2018, he told the investigators that he was on the phone with a buddy, but he was on the phone with his girlfriend, who is now his wife. He said that they were freshly dating and she was one of his good sister's friends, so it was very uncomfortable giving her name to investigators, so he just didn't, but he did flag that down whenever he talked to police in 2022. Cal Foot's lawyer then started cross-examining Radish on Cal Foot's ability to do the splits. For those of you who might be wondering about that, it's because in the Crown's opening statement, they are alleging that Cal Foot did the splits over the alleged victim and his genitals grazed her head. Radish responded yes to all of her questions, which were, you're aware he is capable of doing the splits, you've seen him doing that, it's something that he's done as a party trick, people ask him to do the splits and he does it. It's pretty cool and amazing that Mr. Foot can do the splits at a moment's notice. That was it for Taylor Radish, and then the second player, who was Boris Tkachuk, started testifying as witness.